Come gather round, come sit a spell, where the mountain winds know stories well. She's got laughter, she's got lore, old tales you ain't heard before. From the holler to the valley wide, her voice is the magic in the mountainside. So hush now, child, let the story unfold with a wise woman's heart and a tale well told. The Ballad of Ruth Ann and Isaiah Blue. Long before the trains carved through the Carolinas, before the mills swallowed whole towns, there was a place called Blue Lantern Ridge, named for the strange blue glow that rose from the valley on moonless nights. Folks said it was swamp gas. The elders said it was spirits, but the old storytellers whispered something else. It's love that never found its rest. And they were talking about Ruth Ann Carter and Isaiah Blue. Ruth Ann was the kind of woman who carried sunlight in her smile and thunder in her temper. She worked the tobacco fields by day and sang on her porch at night, her voice sweet enough to make the mockingbirds jealous. Isaiah was a wanderer, tall, quiet, with eyes that held more sorrow than a man his age ought to carry. He drifted from town to town doing odd jobs, but he always came back to Blue Lantern Ridge. Folks said he returned for the peace, but Miss Loretta May, the oldest woman in the Ridge, said, "No, baby, he came back for Ruth Ann." The two of them fell in love the way storms gather, slow at first, then all at once. They met in secret under the willow tree by the river, where the fireflies danced like sparks from a holy fire. Ruth Ann would sing, Isaiah would listen, and the world felt small enough to hold in their hands. But love in those days wasn't simple, not for folks like them, not in a world built to break what it didn't understand. Ruth Ann's father, a hard man with harder pride, forbade the match. Isaiah had no land, no family name, no future he could promise. And Ruth Ann, his only daughter, was meant to marry a man with money enough to lift the family out of the fields. But Ruth Ann didn't care about money. She cared about Isaiah. So one night, under a sky heavy with stars, they made a plan to run away. Isaiah saved every penny he earned. Ruth Ann packed a small bag with a dress, a Bible, and a lock of her mother's hair. They agreed to meet at the willow tree at midnight. Isaiah arrived early. Ruth Ann never came. He waited until the moon sank low. Then he waited until the sun rose. Then he waited until hope itself turned to ash. What he didn't know, what he never learned in life, was that Ruth Ann tried to go. She slipped out the back door, heart pounding, feet bare, but her father caught her halfway down the road. In the struggle that followed, she fell, struck her head on a stone, and never woke again. Her father buried her at dawn, too ashamed to tell the truth, too proud to let Isaiah mourn her. Isaiah left Blue Lantern Ridge that morning, thinking she had changed her mind, thinking she had chosen comfort over love, thinking he wasn't enough. He died years later in a faraway town, whispering her name with his last breath. And that should have been the end, but the ridge remembers. On moonless nights, folks say you can see a blue lantern glowing by the willow tree. Some say it's Isaiah, still waiting. Others say it's Ruth Ann, finally free to go where her heart leads. But the old storytellers, those who know how love lingers, they say it's both of them, walking hand in hand at last. Their spirits bound, not by tragedy, but by the promise they never got to keep. And if you listen close, you might hear Ruth Ann singing, her voice soft as river water. A love like ours don't die. It just waits. Now that's all I got to say on that tale, baby. The night done settled, the crickets done tuned they fiddles, and the good Lord knows these old bones been talking long enough. Carry that story with you like a little ember in your pocket. 'Cause the right tale don't ever end. It just waits for the next heart ready to hear it. Till we meet again under moonlight or lamplight, keep your feet steady, your spirit open, and your ears tuned for the whisper of another wonder coming down the road.